let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm John.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down. Hey, John.
Oh, Ryback.
Sorry, I went into...
Ryback.
Oh, Ryback. You silly
It's
goose.
Party Poppers. Hey, buddy.
You're wrong, Ryback. You're wrong. Well, I guess we'll just see what we'll see.
How's it going, my friend?
I'm great. And you've got a friend in the diamond business.
And now you have a friend in the jewelry business. The Shane Company.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're talking about Under Siege still. We're on our Under Siege shit.
Maybe we should do a podcast about the legacy of the Shane Company.
Is he dead?
No,
Is he
man.
alive?
He's still alive.
Kicking?
He's still
Good
making
for him.
new commercials.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. In the
Wait,
meantime,
what are we doing?
I don't know. I think we're here to talk about Under Siege.
Oh, yes. That's right. Should we give a big shout out to all of our friends?
Yeah. Shout out to our loyal listeners who are listening on the OG feed. We love you the most. But secondarily, we like anyone who's listening on the
we love you equally. We love all our children equally.
Well, our Last of the Action Heroes podcast network friends, we love you guys too. Thanks so much for listening. Like, it really does mean a lot to me when I see listens from all over the world. It's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, we're on our Under Siege shit still.
As we said, this is the first time I've ever seen this movie, so it like talking to a complete novice.
Did you watch any other Seagal movies?
Nope. This is the first one I've ever seen.
I didn't really watch any other ones other than this one.
Yeah, I was trying to think if I'd ever seen a single other one of his movies, and I don't know, like maybe my parents just didn't like Seagal.
Did you watch Executive Decision?
Which one was that? Kurt Russell one?
That was the Kurt Russell and Halle Berry. They were like a plane was hijacked, and I don't remember a lot about the plot, but
I don't either.
Seagal was in it a little bit.
Like at the very beginning, and he dies, right? He falls out of the plane or something.
Yeah, when they were like docking a plane onto the plane, like
that's dumb. We're refueling in midair.
John
some shit.
Leguizamo and Kurt Russell and others.
Man, John Leguizamo, what a career that guy's had.
Oliver Platt.
Yeah, we love Oliver Platt. Yeah, so no. This is it.
I was not a big Seagal guy either, but he was like, he's mentioned in that breath with those other big 90s action guys.
I don't get it at all.
Me neither. Same.
Because as we were discussing earlier, he is the weak link in this movie.
He's like I mentioned about my read of Seagal. Terrible actor, right?
Check.
Which that's the case for a few of the guys, right? Like Van Damme, not a great actor. Schwarzenegger,
but Van
not a
Damme's
great actor.
got charisma.
That's what I'm saying. But Seagal, no charisma. Like at least even I don't know. I don't read a ton of charisma off Stallone, but like Schwarzenegger and Van Damme, big charisma and handsome dudes, physical specimens, you know?
Right.
Seagal was none of that.
There's something to recommend them in some way, but Steven Seagal is none of those. Like Steven Seagal is the guy that you would hire to be like the bouncer in a nightclub scene.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And Bruce Willis was like the anti that, like wasn't the physical specimen.
Right.
But he was tons of charisma.
Yeah.
Good actor.
Right.
You know, he just wasn't like the larger than life action guy. But Seagal was like,
you get none of that with Seagal. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, like we said, it's almost like this Orvitz guy or whoever found him. It was like someone dared. He's like, I guarantee I can make this guy a star for no reason.
Right, but there's something about him, I guess. I don't know. It's
not
charisma.
We said that he would probably be a successful cult founder.
Yeah. he's convinced people that there's some wisdom surrounding him or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't get it, but
I don't know either.
Whatever.
But anyway, why don't you catch us up on what's going on Under Siege?
The details are that Chief Ryback, who we still don't know his background as yet, has been locked in a freezer by the bad guys who've taken over the ship. The guys who have taken over the ship have killed the captain, sealed the crew in the forecastle below deck, welded the thing shut. We know that somewhere there's a stripper knocked out on Quaaludes or some stuff in a cake, we imagine. The bad guys demonstrate the awesome firepower of the ship by shooting down an F-18 that came to look for the helicopter that they were all on earlier. And our hero breaks out of the meat locker, the fridge, and kills 2 guards and is now armed and dangerous and skulking through the depths of the ship. And that's
Absolutely.
it. That's it.
You're spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Nailed it.
So back somewhere on the mainland, I guess, there's this military situation room. It's filling up with a bunch of high-ranking people.
Right.
Do you think
They're federal people.
Do those?
This is a federal building.
Do those types of rooms really exist? Like this big grand.
It's like Dr. Strangelove.
It's like the war room.
Yeah.
Does that exist in your mind? I can't imagine.
No,
that's
because the
real.
Situation Room in the White House is like a dingy conference room.
Office,
Yeah,
right?
it's like a long conference room. There's a long table so that all the people can sit around and disagree with one another.
I agree. I feel like this is a movie creation.
Yeah, it's huge. There's screens everywhere.
So yes, there's a man in a suit enters. That's Tom Breaker from the CIA.
Right.
He's being
He's
briefed.
the Womack character in this movie. Womack. You piece of shit.
Why am I not surprised, you piece of shit? He's being briefed that they've received a call from a man claiming to be a former CIA operative that worked under Breaker by the name of William Stranix.
Wilhelm Stranix.
Breaker's not happy to hear that name.
Not good.
Now, the man in charge
good.
is Admiral Bates.
Mm-hmm.
He lays into Breaker, telling him, you better help us defuse this shit. That's the same dude that was like the evil undersecretary in Eraser.
Yeah.
Like, never has a guy looked more like a high-ranking military or government official than this guy.
He looks like a CEO or the chairman of some board of a corporation that's here to take all your shit.
So they patch Stranix through to the Situation Room. He says, any ships or aircraft that come within 100 miles of the Missouri, they're going to kill the whole crew, and they'll launch the ship's entire arsenal.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Several warheads.
So then Breaker casually asks Stranix, what's going on? Bill, what's going on? He's like, oh, hi, Tom.
Oh, hi, Tom.
That's a fucking killer.
It's badass.
Oh, hi, Tom. Stranix says what's going on is we've got 32 Tomahawk missiles under my thumb, and there's nothing you can do about it but alert the media. So
that's also true.
Breaker says, but you don't have the launch codes.
Oh, really?
Stranix says, oh, let me take a wild guess, and rattles them off. So is that what came off that disc?
Yeah.
Okay. Breaker is like, this is insane. Stranix is like, well, be careful with that word, Tom, please.
It's so funny.
It's so good, man. Tommy Lee Jones is a fucking treasure, dude.
He is.
But the Admiral steps in, asks why Stranix is doing this. Stranix says,
hi, Admiral.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he says, oh, hi, Admiral.
Stranix says, 6 months ago, Tom Breaker canceled Operation Cleopatra, and then he sent a couple of nice guys from Langley to try to cancel me along with it. Stranix verifies, I sent you the men's...
You received the fingers, didn't you?
You received the trigger fingers in the mail, didn't you?
Tom?
That shit was fucking grim.
Yeah.
Dude. So that sounds like that shit should be its own movie.
Yeah.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Whatever's going on. But Breaker says, I know this must be a chaotic time for you. Stranix goes on this unhinged rant about, UV light waves are just the beginning. We got an inch of topsoil left.
Deforestation, sexually transmitted diseases.
The depleted gene pools.
It adds up to oblivion, pal.
So Breaker's is nuts.
Wake
dude.
up, Tom. You know, and I know that chaos and bedlam are consuming the entire world.
The military officials and Breaker are dismayed, But then we see Stranix's end, and like everyone's sort of giggling, like maybe this is just a performance.
Yeah, like Krill and Colm are like dying laughing.
Is the idea that like I will make them think I'm a crazy person without a real plan?
Yes.
Like, it's like Die Hard.
Yeah, to lull them into a false sense of security.
Got to release the members of the Asian Dawn.
Asian Dawn.
Asian Dawn.
I saw them in Time magazine.
Exactly, dude. So they're misdirecting the authorities from like your real agenda with this subterfuge.
Right.
So I think as Breaker is like, what are you planning to do? It's like, well, do you realize that whatever I do is inevitable? Can we agree on that?
Well, not necessarily.
Stranix then tells Breaker that none of your chicken shit psychological ploys are going to work. He's giving off great madman vibes,
Yeah.
I feel like. Breaker tries to go along with Stranix. So Stranix says, between.
Yeah, he drops some serious character exposition here.
He's like, between Annapolis, Vietnam, War College, and so on, I feel like I missed out on the 60s.
Unhinged.
If I could have been there to make my contribution, everything would have worked out fine.
Stranix is now trying to keep a straight face. Like he himself is making himself laugh.
He is killing it. Breaker tells him we can't relive the 60s. That movement is over. And then Stranix is like, yes, of course. Hence the name, movement. It moves a certain distance, and then it stops. The revolution gets its name by always coming back around in your face. You tried to kill me, you son of a bitch. So welcome to the revolution.
Awesome.
I feel like it was nice writing as well.
Yeah, it's good writing.
And Tommy Lee Jones, of course, kills it.
Yeah.
So Stranix orders the radio to cut off. Breaker laments, this Stranix, he's clearly gone off the deep end.
Yeah, he's lost it.
The Admiral wants a full inventory of all the weapons that are on board that ship. Everyone starts making their frantic phone calls. Back on board the Missouri, Krill, Stranix, and the rest are just laughing at Stranix's charade. The dudes, I love that the actors are clearly like having a fun time making the movie. I don't know who it is. It's like, do you think they believed you? And he's like, I don't know. They probably think I'm crazy, probably paranoid, something like that. Stranix then orders the launch of some short-range missile.
Pitt says we've got a harpoon locked and seems eager to blow something up.
I don't know what they shot at. But
the harpoon is an all-weather, over-the-horizon anti-ship missile.
Okay, so they launched this missile. They hit some sort of an installation on some island that must have been pretty close to where they were.
Right.
But it knocks out.
Ryback hears it.
Yeah,
all
they hear the missile
and the folks
launch.
will hear it.
Anyway, Breaker is confused by the logic of whatever they blew up. He says they knocked out like the satellite observation.
Yeah, observation island, and it's effectively blinded the military dudes.
Breaker's confused by the logic of this because he says they can still track the ship's movement from Pearl Harbor. On the phone call, we hear like this one dude, I guess the White House guy.
Yeah, he's like on the Joint Chiefs or something like that.
Wake up the president.
Wake up the president.
Yeah. On the Missouri, the welding crews are assembling this part of, I don't know, some sort of railing system that's going on through the ship.
I can't tell what it is, but it's a bunch of like rebar that they're like welding together.
I love the voiceover from whoever's like the foreman down there. I-bars.
Yeah, I-bars. Thank you.
Or
Yes.
I-beam.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I like the dude down there, the foreman. The man's turning angry. The man is turning angry. He says, what does that mean?
He said it in Spanish and then plugged it into Google Translate.
The man is turning angry. Time is money on this deal. The man is turning angry. Who is the man? Stranix, I guess.
Probably Stranix.
So Stranix and Krill, they come down to inspect the progress. It's, dude, and almost a weird sort of foreshadowing. The foreman down there warns them, like, watch your heads, because Krill almost like walked right into the beam.
Oh, okay.
And then remember later in The Fugitive, Joey Pants got taken out by the fucking I-beam in the dry cleaner's office or whatever the fuck. The hotel's like laundry. Why were there I-beams?
No one knows.
Don't worry about it.
Does all of this relate to the earlier comments Stranix made about chopping up Broadway?
They're assembling something. We don't know what's going on exactly yet. But a supervisor down there, he says, don't worry, we should be up and running within the hour. Krill and Stranix seem delighted by this. Yeah, things are going smoothly.
We also have seen Ryback is under the floor listening to some of this.
Right, the fly in the ointment.
That's right.
The monkey in the wrench. The pain in the ass. So they hear this low booming sound now, and Krill says that's his beloved crew.
Yeah.
Cut to the men in the forecastle. They're pounding against the hull of the ship, presumably to make some noise, like, I don't know, to be heard by some passing ship.
I think they're doing SOS.
I think so too, but it's kind of like, I guess they don't know that the authorities are already aware that some shit's going on.
Right.
So it seems like it's getting dark outside now.
Yeah,
the ship is gliding through the water. Inside, Ryback is exploring the ship. He comes across the massacre and the mess. Dead bodies are still everywhere.
Yeah.
He walks through, shoves aside the huge silk cake that's like blocking the doorway.
Oh, it just like rolls away.
Yeah. We're going to get to the many ways in which this doesn't make a lot of sense in a minute.
Okay.
But
I can't wait to talk about it because all of this, I was like, the fuck?
So the cake, it bumps into like a couch. It lights up. Music starts playing. Jordan Tate, she pops out of the cake wearing an officer's hat, officer's jacket, and a G-string.
She has been in there for hours.
Oh, we're going to get to it.
There was gunfire.
She slept through
all that. There were people killed. People have been yelling. A missile was launched. Like,
don't worry about it. No,
and the gun shot down a plane. She is a professional. She stayed in that cake. What a professional.
I have notes on this. But yeah, she pops out, does a little strip tease with her eyes closed before Ryback stops her and tells her, shut the music off.
How did no one hear that music?
There was also, the scene ends with this weird shot of like Ryback coming at her with his arm out like he's going to grab a handful.
I think it was like maybe supposed to be like helping her out of the cake, but it did look, it looked menacing.
So like 10 to 12-year-old Kevin definitely remembers this scene well. Though I was like, this would have been about the first time that I was really discovering that boobs are cool.
Yeah.
Like,
they're pretty neat.
Damn. So I read this amazing bit of trivia that this movie was like a huge success on the rental market.
It makes sense.
I read that all the tapes, though, were wearing out, like, and breaking on this particular, like, part in the movie. Because there was so much rewinding and pausing.
Pervs. Pervs. That's pretty awesome.
So Ryback,
like perverts.
Ryback takes Jordan back to, I don't know if this was where he sleeps.
It seemed like his cabin.
I thought so, too, because he starts changing clothes and stuff in there.
He knows where everything in the room is.
So Jordan is tearfully asking what's going on, what's up with all the dead men out there.
Not bad acting from
she was solid.
Erica Elianic here, or Elianic.
Yeah, sure.
However you say it.
So Ryback wants to know, who are you? What are you doing here? She introduces herself. I'm Jordan Tate. I missed July 1989. I was hired to jump out of the cake. I took some pills and I fell asleep. He's like, what kind of babbling bullshit is this? Which was a pretty good reading from Seagal.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm an actress. I did a Hunter episode.
That's badass. Do you remember Hunter was what you like? It comes on Saturday after the cartoon, so you turn the TV off.
Syndicated, like,
turn
action.
That shit off.
Yeah. I did a Hunter episode and a Wet and Wild video. I'm an actress.
My agent told me I was just going to come and jump out of the cake. So, she's like, I thought she did a good job in this scene.
So a side effect of taking too much Dramamine is apparently severe drowsiness.
Yeah.
So
it
could be, but are we meant to think that Krill drugged her?
No, she
you
took
think it
too
was
many.
Just Dramamine.
Yeah, he gave her Dramamine, and unless it was like he said, take 2 of these, and she took what?
A handful.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have
8 Dramamine. She'd still be asleep. They're like.
I feel like it would make sense for him to drug her, but I think it was just Dramamine.
Yeah.
So is the idea that this is where I'm fucked up. The idea is that she took all the pills, she got naked and got in the cake, and then passed out. And like the gunfire didn't disturb her. Like at some point, it wasn't
until the cake hit the thing that she was like.
At some point, she woke up and it was dark and completely quiet. And she's just like, I guess I'm just going to wait.
That's what I said. She's a professional.
I'm waiting for my
She's a fucking pro.
It's like the quietest party ever. But I'm just going to wait in this cake.
Who knows?
Indefinitely.
It's everyone's hiding in the dark waiting for the captain to come down. Man. Maybe he's really slow. Plus she was sleepy. So
maybe it was that she was fast asleep until the cake jostled. And then she's like, nah.
And
pop out and start just shaking titties.
Hit play and jump up and Anyway.
It was a weird song anyway. That song is also burned in my mind just from watching this scene 200 times as a 12-year-old.
I wondered, I was like, did what's his face give her Quaaludes? But I think it was just
Dramamine.
Like one Dramamine, and I'm like, 2, I'd be asleep. It's like taking Benadryl.
So Ryback asked how many men were on the helicopter with you. She says, I don't know, but it was full. That's like a fair answer from a non-expert.
Yeah.
Ryback asked where the crew is. She says she doesn't know. She didn't see anything. And Ryback gives her a tough time. He's like, so you didn't see anything, you didn't hear anything, and you don't remember anything. But she insists, like, I'm not a part of whatever this is.
Yeah, she's like, I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, but you have to believe me. And
so Ryback
she doesn't know anything.
Ryback says, I believe you. How would it even make sense that she's involved?
It doesn't, but he's got to suspect.
Hiding one terrorist in the cake.
I think he's got to suspect everything, though, at this point.
Sure. So she wants to know, are you special forces guy? Like, what's going on? He's like, I'm just a cook. Just a lowly cook. Say, oh my God, we're gonna die.
Yeah, this is a good scene.
It was good for her.
She hasn't had a lot to do so far, but she's making the most of her scene time.
Back in the Situation Room, they're going through the inventory of the ship's weaponry. We got cruise missiles.
Yeah, well, they got 40,000 20-millimeter rounds for that Sea Whiz, the gun that shot the plane down.
Which is spot on, like, terminology.
Yeah. That took the chopper down, and they've got over 1,000 16-inch shells, and then the rest of the ship.
They got 32 Tomahawk missiles, 8 of those with nuclear warheads on them. The Admiral demands to know, how does Stranex get to such a fucking high position in the CIA? Breaker is like, well, our top covert operatives, they're under tremendous stress, and they're very creative.
They're creative thinkers.
Yeah, fucking probably is true, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it was during this scene that I noticed that Breaker is wearing huge rings on his fingers, like ornate rings, like the type of shit that fucking you'd wear if you were a rock, like Guns N' Roses or fucking Motley Crue.
I remember growing up and going to Mount Zion Baptist Church in Jasper, Georgia, that older men wore several rings. I remember these guys, it would be like an assortment of like a wedding ring, a Masonic ring, they're like Mason ring, and then some of these dudes just had a big ass ring with like a gold nugget on it. Like it's just like decorative gold jewelry, and just like, and they'd have like 3 or 4 rings on, and I was like, huh.
This dude was rocking some pinky ring that was like braided silver, and so I'm just like, you're fucking weird, Breaker. I don't know what's going on with you. You got a weird vibe about you. But the White House guy in there, he asks, well, how they take control of the battleship? Breaker says, that's fucking Stranex's specialty. Breaker tells him about how Stranex and his team of mercenaries had hijacked and sank a North Korean submarine a year earlier. Mm-hmm. The Admiral is dismayed that the U.S. government has been financing Stranex's quote-unquote private army, which I'm guessing then the whole squad of dudes he has is like his team of mercenaries.
It's like Ed Harris and The Rock.
Absolutely. So Breaker says, once we realized that we'd lost control of Stranex, they tried to neutralize him, but I guess they missed.
Yeah.
So the White House guy is like, well, how do we know that the submarine was sunk? Breaker says, but we're positive.
Yeah, we're positive.
So, of course.
White House guy's like, yeah, okay, sure.
So cut to submarine cruising through the water. They established radio contact with the Missouri and confirmed their plans to rendezvous. I like the call signs. It was like
Tweety Bird and Roadrunner.
Roadrunner, this Tweety Bird. Have you seen Wile E. Coyote or whatever? And I think it was Krill asked Stranex, "You're the Roadrunner?" He's like, "Yeah, never been caught."
Me.
Fucking thank God for Tommy Lee Jones, because I feel like this movie would be in bad shape if you had a shit actor in that part.
Agreed.
So just then, a goon arrives, tells Stranex, the 2 men that you sent down to the galley, they never checked in. Stranex is
like... Wait. Like, just now? Like, that happened fucking ages ago. Yeah. But the goon says that they've only been trying to radio those guys for the past 5 minutes?
Maybe it's like a check-in every 30 minutes situation.
Every 30 minutes? That seems ludicrous. That's what I'm saying is like...
I agree with you.
It is insane that they wouldn't be like a check-in every 5 or 10 minutes.
Right. I think I feel like they felt like shit was under control.
Right.
But yeah, those dudes have been missing for a minute. Like, where were they? If not...
They knew where they were.
They should have been back at their posts.
Wherever that was.
We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Can you get back to your rappelling station, please?
Yes.
We need you back on the fish station.
Yes, we need you carving the roast beast on the mess deck or whatever. But so Stranix is pissed. Krill is like, I told you should have sent more men. Elsewhere, Ryback is urging Jordan to hide in this locker.
She's like begging, please don't leave me here.
So Ryback is telling her it's the safest possible place. He shuts her in there. First of all, why is he trying to stuff her in the locker instead of just telling her, like, stay in this cabin?
Hide under the bed. Take some pills. Tell her to sleep it off. Let it blow over.
But second, why would she not want to stay far away from the action?
Same.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, can I just stay in this cabin? I'll close the door, lock it.
It's not a place of any importance.
I'm going to wait here until this whole thing blows over.
Yeah, exactly.
But so she's loudly, like, banging on the metal locker.
Again, how is no one hearing this?
That shit was loud.
Yeah.
So Ryback opens the door, tells her, if they hear you, they're going to come down here and kill both of us. So be quiet, he says, and slams the door in her face, which was kind of funny.
Very funny.
Jordan resumes banging on the locker door. Ryback opens it back up. She says, I hate being alone. And he's like, well, do you hate being dead? Cut
Fair
to
point.
Shadow, Krill, Stranix, and Cole Meany.
And some more guys.
Cole Meany. And yeah, more goons. They're working their way down to the
Cole
galley.
Meany with a mean buzz by this time.
Yo, he's fucking
Cole Meany's
hammered.
he's annihilated.
He drank a whole bottle
He
of
can barely
champagne.
stand up. He's like, oh my God, I've got a gun. Wow.
So, the goons are all down there in the galley.
Then we cut back to the good guys, and Ryback is like forcefully giving Jordan new clothes. Put those on.
Put those on. Here's an assault rifle or a submachine gun.
What?
Here's how it works. Keep that shit on semi-auto. One trigger pull is one shot. Tells her, if you're going to stick with me, you're going to have to be invisible. Honestly, I feel like this was some decent acting from Seagal when he's giving her the rundown of how to work the gun and everything. So now the bad guys, they're in the darkened galley. Stranix is like, turn those lights back on. Krill points them towards the circuit breaker. The power flips back on as Stranix is examining the body of that one dude with the knife in his throat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the man who did this is a professional.
Immediately. Sees
Expert assessment.
Yeah.
So Stranix wants to know who Ryback is, why he's loose on this battleship.
Fair questions.
Stranix and Krill get in like a little bit of a pissing match about your battleship.
Yeah, Krill's takes umbrage with that, and he's like, you wouldn't even be on this ship if it wasn't for me.
He's a cook, plain and simple.
This is not the work of a cook.
This is not the work of a cook, he says, and like whips the knife out of the dude's throat and is waving it in his face.
The noise when he pulls it out of the dude's throat.
Yeah, can he move like me?
It's like the sound of flesh ripping when he pulls the knife.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
So Krill is like, Ryback came on board with the captain. He's a cook. He's good with cooking knives. I know. This is not a cooking knife.
Yeah, I know his routine front and back, and he's good with cooking knives.
Absolutely. Krill is like, in my expert opinion, or my professional opinion, he's a military reject in command of a galley. I love the way BC just cranked it.
Yeah.
Up there. So just then the microwave starts beeping. Everyone fucking is like, oh shit.
That can't be good.
The microwave explodes spectacularly.
Yeah, big explosion.
Kills one guy, sets the galley on fire. That dude had like a face full of shrapnel.
Yeah, that was
nasty. Krill is like, what was that? And
it was a bomb, jackass.
Bomb, you jackass. He used the microwave as a detonator. Stranix orders one of his men to secure this area. Whatever. If you see any signs of Ryback, call for backup. Do not engage.
That's smart.
Smart, right? Stranix tells Krill, I want to see Ryback's personnel file.
I would like to see the ship's personnel file on this plain and simple cook.
And we got these goddamn fires.
He mad.
Tommy Lee Jones is fucking pissed, dude. So, back in the Situation Room, Captain Dale Dye.
Yeah, hell yeah, you legend.
Yes, dude, fucking Dale Dye. I thought, dude, such a natural actor.
I feel like he's
not an actor, but he's a natural.
Yeah, he's just good on screen, and it's like, I want you to deliver these as you would deliver them were this the actual situation, which is what acting is. And he's like, I can do that. I can fuck that.
I am a soldier.
I am that guy.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He got his start in the business as the technical advisor on Platoon.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking killer. And he was an actor in Platoon.
Movie. Yeah.
He's also been just in countless military movies. I feel like he was in
I always remember
everything.
Him from Band of Brothers.
Yeah, Band of Brothers, fucking Saving Private Ryan.
Remember our motto, Karahi.
He's amazing. So, yeah, he's a real veteran. I feel like he was a real Vietnam vet. He just has this authentic military presence about him. And he's got that voice, dude.
Yeah, I've got that. Hey.
We'll leave the light on for you.
But his is a little more, he sounds more like this.
It's an old-fashioned voice, something about it.
But it sounds authoritative.
But yeah, so Dale Dye, he's briefing the group that there's a plan to assault the Missouri using a helicopter. We're going to take out the ship's weapon systems. Then we're going to insert a SEAL team.
SEAL Team 5.
They're going to retake
the best
ship.
there is. SEAL Team 5 is the best there is.
I feel like SEAL Team 6 is like the money, though.
Yeah, well, now they are.
Now they
Who
are.
knows if
SEAL Team 5 got wiped out in this movie, spoiler alert.
Oh, shit. Maybe that really happened. This is historical.
Historically accurate.
Yeah.
So, but basically, Dale Dye bluntly tells the guys, like, look, if Stranex is organized and ready, the odds of success are not good.
We're shit
on this. So the Admiral says this is our best chance to save the crew and retake the ship intact. He says if we fail, we're going to be forced to launch an airstrike and destroy the ship.
I love that Dale Dye's like, we'll get her back for you, sir.
He's such a fucking, just an authentic human being in the room. I feel like that's probably also accurate. We're going to sink this motherfucker if we can't think about it. We have to.
Totally.
We have no choice. We'll kill 1,000 men or 500 or whatever the skeleton crew is.
And maybe set off some nuclear warheads in the why can't I think of the word process? Jesus Christ. I'm having a stroke. I smell toast.
So back in the command center, Cole Meany is saying, we've nearly got the crane built. Krill enters, tells him Ryback's file was hidden in the captain's safe, that Ryback was formerly a Navy SEAL.
The goddamn cook's a SEAL.
The goddamn cook's a SEAL.
From Colm. Love it.
That delivery of that line is drilled into my head. I feel like that had to be in the trailer of the movie. The goddamn cook's a SEAL. So Krill reads from the file. Expert in martial arts, explosives, weapons and tactics. Silver Star, Navy Cross, Purple Heart with cluster. Stranex is just pretty calm through all this. Krill says after a mission sort of went bad in Panama, Ryback was demoted and could only hold the rank of a yeoman or a cook. How little did I know?
Yeah, exactly.
Shadow enters, tells him we just lost 2 more men in the engine room.
Oh, shoot.
Right. Stranex tells Krill, you're supposed to review the file of every man aboard the ship. Krill goes fucking live wire.
I know what I was told, but I didn't have access to the cabin file at that time.
I love Busey crank that shit up. I love when he does that. So on one hand, though, he's right.
Yeah.
Right? But on the other hand,
you should have told your people, there's one guy on this boat that I'm not sure about.
And just yesterday,
let them in on it.
And just yesterday, you heard 3 times in 30 seconds that there was more to Ryback than meets the eye.
That he was super decorated.
It's a robot in disguise.
Yeah. Robot in disguise.
So Cole Meany locks and loads, says, I'm going to go take care of Ryback.
I'll get this fucker myself.
Oh, now calm down. Do you want to get killed? I love it all. Well, yeah, what are you, an idiot?
You're calling me an idiot?
Yeah, I'm calling you an idiot.
So there's tension on the team. Their cracks are starting to form.
It's great to watch, though, all these alpha males butt heads is just fucking great, dude. Stranex takes control, orders everybody, look, roving patrols are going to sweep through the ship. We're going to keep Ryback contained to the lower decks.
Right.
Whatever. Everyone check in, all that type shit down below. Jordan is complaining and Ryback's making her carry everything.
Yeah, listen, I support women's lib, don't you?
Her hair perfectly styled with the little bangs poking through the
baseball cap.
The back of the off-kilter backwards cap. Stranex comes on the radio down there warning all the men there's a hostile loose aboard the ship. Do not pursue him into areas of the ship we do not control. Check in every 5 minutes. Switch over to the alternate frequency. Sounds like a solid plan.
Yep, sounds good.
Ryback tells Jordan, I'll carry everything if you kill all the bad guys that we come across.
That's awesome.
She says, I have a little rule about killing people. Actually, I have 2 rules. 1, I don't date musicians.
Solid
and 2,
rule.
I do not kill people.
Yep.
She's good.
Yeah,
she was
she's
a
very
solid
good.
performer.
Yeah.
He tells her, look, hang back for a minute. I'm going to go through this hatch that's down on the floor and check things out. Cut to Ryback dropping down onto the deck of the ship, so I don't have no fucking clue where they were.
Yeah, I don't either. They're in some sort of
elevated area.
Well,
now,
also they were like just in the room where all the fucking warheads were, like the room where they keep all the missiles, I guess. But he goes through that hatch and he's on the deck, but he's on the deck underneath a staircase.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening or how they got to where they're at now. But Ryback's creeping around, creeps up on this one dude, kills him by like sweeping his leg and then chopping his throat.
Hey-ya!
Absolutely.
Knife chop in the throat.
We see that welders, they're busily building whatever the fuck structure is going on in the exterior of the ship. Ryback is creeping along the railing out of sight. He retrieves this like rescue kit.
I feel like the
locker.
searchlight like went right over him. Like it shined on him.
No one was paying attention.
I guess
not. I don't know. But he pops into this small boat that's on the deck of the ship, and
it's like a life raft or something, or a lifeboat.
Yeah, it's the motor launch. We'll come to find out. But he opens this kit up, which is like got this portable satellite unit in it.
Huge. It's a big satellite dish.
Does every ship keep one of these fucking satellite packs on the deck?
Well, I think from like now they don't, because now you just need a spare like satellite phone.
I don't know what's happening here, but maybe they do. Maybe it was like this. Maybe this was
I'm sure.
accurate.
Like back in the day, that's what they had. I mean, because as she says, it's sort of like a car phone.
Just this was the primitive days of like cellular satellite.
Because it's got a dish attached to it, which I'm not sure how it amplifies the signal or catches a signal. Maybe would it amplify the ships? I don't know how.
I have no clue what's happening, but he turns the shit on. We hear what sounds like a phone dialing.
Yeah. He's booting up Netscape.
So Ryback, he returns to wherever it was. Yeah, basically he plugs up this radio. I don't know. It seems like he's got it connected to the device in some fashion. He returns to where Jordan is. He's telling her, she's very curious, like, what the fuck are you doing?
What is that? What is it?
He says it's a secure satellite uplink.
And she says, oh, like a car phone.
Yeah, something like that. He whispers everything. This was the perfect role for Seagal because it made sense for every line to be whispered.
You need to be quiet. So we hear that he hears that there are like voices on the line.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, there's a cut to the Situation Room.
Right. Back in the Situation Room, the Admiral, he's received a note from somebody.
It's hot.
Admiral is asking Dale Dye, do you know a Casey Ryback? Yes, he's a top hand on the teams. Wish he was with us for this mission. He's like, well, maybe he is. Hold on. He's called to us from aboard the Missouri.
It's called like Collect.
Everyone's hot.
They patch him through.
They patch him right through. Business is about to pick up.
Holy shit.
That's where we're going to leave you for now.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
I can't wait to hear what happens next because I actually have not watched the rest of this movie.
On this point?
No.
Oh, dude.
Is it fun? Is it fun to talk to a novice about this? It's kind of fun, right?
I love this.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because as I was watching it, I was like, there have been a few like plot holes. Well, not plot holes even, but like inconsistencies or goofs and things like that. But as far as the movie is concerned, it's entertaining. It's tight.
Keeping your interest?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's all we want from a movie like this.
Yeah, it's all you can hope for.
That's the best you can hope for, especially when you're dealing on a knockoff of something else.
Yeah.
Let's do Die Hard on a battleship.
Yeah.
Any movie where there's a one man taking on a small army in a confined space, then you got Die Hard on a blank.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's where we're going to leave you for now.
Oh my God. How will I go on?
The body count's really about to start picking up.
I'm excited.
There.
I'm very excited because I will say for as much as has happened, there hasn't been a ton of action.
I mean,
and the action that has happened has been very fleeting.
We're way past halfway at this point, and like they've only just now, I guess, realized that they've got the fly in the ointment is loose on the boat.
Yeah. Well, even in the first chapter, it's like all we did was get the bad guys through the front door, and that was pretty much all that happened.
Absolutely.
And so I'm excited to see how it accelerates from here.
It's kind of how movies should be.
Yeah.
Like you spend more than half of it just setting all the pieces in place, and then you let the shit pop off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John's sleepy.
A little bit. I only slept like 4 hours last night.
Why?
Oh, because I drank too much. I stayed up till like 2 a.m.
Thinking about Willow. What was it?
Watching Willow. I placed third in the first round of a writing competition, so I got a little bit amped, and so I was up watching like Cabinet of Curiosities and Willow and Bad Batch and getting caught up.
How is Bad Batch?
If you love Star Wars, you'll love Bad Batch.
I gotta watch
that. But it's like watching Bad Batch is like if you love Andor, you'll like Bad Batch because it's like it's very little of the Jedi mysticism. It's more like espionage thriller, like that kind of thing.
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very entertaining. I think you would dig the animated. Like anyone who's a Star Wars fan would like the animated series.
Well, that's
where neither here nor there.
That's where we leave you, dear listeners.
Yeah, my friends.
Daniel Day-Lewis, we appreciate it.
Helen Mirren, thank you for the Christmas card.
I think Tilda Swinton and Kate Blanchett are also listeners now.
Yep. I was very excited to see that they had subscribed. They hit me up in the DMs.
I'm going to look on social media and see if Cole Meany is active on social media.
He's the fucking man. He's awesome.
He's so good. I don't even understand what it is about the animal magnetism of Cole Meany.
I think that he's just because he's Irish first and foremost, and he's surly, and he just kind of has this like unkempt, like vicious, like
you were talking about Banshees of Inisherin,
yeah,
and I feel like one of the characters' name is Colm.
Oh, really?
Colm.
Yeah,
Colm.
That makes sense. I can't wait to watch that movie.
Yeah, dude, you got to get on that shit.
I will do it. Not tonight. I'm going to sleep.
Golden Globe winners.
That's right. Several of them.
Absolutely.
Martin McDonagh is awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's episode 3 of this series. We hope you guys are enjoying it. And if you're not, well, I guess tough shit.
Tough shit. You got a couple more episodes to go, but I promise you're going to enjoy it because everything about this movie
won't be sorry for long.
You won't be sorry for long. It's a great policy.
All right, boys and girls and ladies and friends, we'll sign off.
And we'll be back.